Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Sitting in the studio with Ed John this week, we wait for Aaron Phillips to come in and tell us about Feathers comedy shows out on the streets of the Oregon District in Dayton, and Greg Hahn calls in to interview himself. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Okay, I don't know what's going on out there, but
somebody's with the vocals.
Yeah, somebody's out there singing. Sing it. We're still waiting on Aaron Phillips to show up, but Ed is stuck around.
I'm here.
So
I'm here.
I guess we can
hit me with the heavy questions.
Yeah,
let's do it.
You want another interview? We just want to start over.
Hit me with the heavy questions, man.
All right. I don't have any heavy questions.
Good. Good.
But hopefully Aaron Phillips will be in soon. But until then,
more news.
Hey, there he is. He's on the way in the studio now. So I guess I'll turn his mic on so he can sit over next to you.
I'm not moving because Aaron Phillips walked in.
He can sit next to you.
I'm totally not moving.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
At all.
I'll tell him that.
Not moving.
He may be the mayor of the Oregon District. He ain't nothing here.
Not in here.
Come on in. We're on the air. See, you interrupted the show, but it's your show. It's okay. So you can have a seat next to Ed over there. Your mic is on. You're hot. You're good to go. I mean, you're sexy.
And you have to be entertaining because I have talked you up. We have talked you up.
Close that door so we're not interrupted. Greg Hahn called in and did some solo screaming into the phone because he couldn't hear us. So in case you missed that part, it was exciting.
Sorry,
I thought I'd share. Yes, Aaron Phillips, the mayor of the Oregon District,
Sure.
has made it into the studio with us. So welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you, as always. Always good to have you. How's Feathers?
It's good. There's a new store going in. The people next to us got evicted, and a new store signed a lease on last Monday, and they're almost ready to open now. I mean, it's been teams of people working to get this.
What is the store next door?
Hart Mercantile used to be a block away from us on 5th Street. They're moving right next to Feathers, so it's exciting. Lots of activity. Yeah, it's gifts.
I feel like I have to ride a horse up to it.
Dayton.
Do they have a hitching post out front?
Actually, some of the houses back there have the original. That's like a selling point, and the carriage steps from when they actually had a carriage in the back in the historical neighborhood. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, the hysterical neighborhood.
Hysterical district.
Wait, that's Wiley's.
That is Wiley's. 325.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about news, but we can talk about you now.
Oh, I mean,
because since you're here and you're important, important to us.
Oh.
Tell us about the thought process behind comedy in the streets, because that sounds like just random acts of comedy. It just sounds like you're getting mugged by funny. So tell us a little.
Well, you guys are both on the show, so I should probably tell you how it is. Yeah,
since I haven't been on the show yet until this Saturday.
This coming Saturday, October 14th, 9:30-ish, literally out in front of our store, 440 East 5th Street, right across from Ned Pepper's bar. And it really, my advice to either of you is don't just do straight material. You got to acknowledge that there's people there. There's people have gone up and just done material, and it's not a regular show. It
doesn't sound. Yeah,
you got to have some crowd work. You got to do you can even kind of one. The first show we did outside. I'm not even counting the other ones. These have been so good. I'm like, I don't want to do it inside again. Because it's so, and it's easier too, because the store is very tight space. Right. If people that are hearing this that have been there, like, yeah, no kidding. But and to have the show, we have to move everything out, and then there's always the worry that something might get broken, or if we do it out front, we don't have to move anything, and the only thing that might get broken is, somebody taking a swing at you. Right. That could happen.
Right. That's not going to happen in downtown Dayton.
No.
People get along so civilly.
That's true. That's true.
But
Now we're back to heroin again. Just full circle. We're right back to it.
The first show we did outside, the guy that closed it out ran Barnacle from Cincinnati. He just did like 35, 40 minutes of just, what are you guys, the two most handsome people on the street? Get out of here, you psychos. I mean, he just did that, like lightly, like roasted everybody. I mean, it came by, like every group of people. And the, oh man, they were talking about it across the street, trying to get the later we start it later too than we do the inside ones because you got to have more people,
right?
Yeah,
and on the weekends down there after,
and you got to make sure they're good and drunk.
Yeah. They're more down for it. There's people though that you can see it's fun. I've noticed people on opposite ends of the street going out of their way to avoid walking past it.
Oh,
they
yeah.
can see what's going on, and they're like, "Oh no,
sir.
not new
Jokes, no jokes."
That's like everybody being afraid to sit in the front
exactly.
of the room.
Well, the front row is the sidewalk, so
yeah, exactly.
It's a.
We
The
can live
homeless
in
people love it. The homeless people are.
Yeah,
They're there every night. Every night.
Yeah. Have you handed any of them the microphone though?
No, but the first show, another thing that happened the first show we did, I think it was Dan Burke paid one of the famous homeless guys out there, usually panhandling, gave him $5 to sit and watch the show. And it's the longest I've ever seen him sit still. He's usually up just hitting up people for money. And he the other day, while he was hitting me up for money, he said, "That was a good show, nephew." I'm nephew. He calls me nephew.
Oh,
we're not
okay.
related.
Not the mayor.
No,
that's not right.
I answered to nephew. He calls
okay.
my mom Connie. Her name is Janet. Calls my dad Larry. His name is Bill.
Larry, Bill. Yeah, I can see
And
that.
nephew.
Yeah.
Nephew. I'm nephew.
Nephew.
I don't get a name.
Yeah, well, you're just generic relative. That's
Yeah.
that's all
Snoop
your
Dogg
name
reference.
is.
Nephew.
What I do?
That was a perfect Snoop Dogg impression. That was clean.
I didn't know that. You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was you that dinged. Okay,
Muting it.
that's all right. Yeah, mute your dingy. But we had.
Gay.
I was unaware that there were famous homeless people. And
On that street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
he's Dayton famous. He's local
Dayton famous.
Dayton
Okay.
famous.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Nothing
So
good.
that's-
Yeah, it's not.
That's
He's
most
just a
Dayton
charming.
famous.
It's not like that guy. Remember that guy a couple years ago that was like the announcer that they found
Yeah,
homeless?
yeah.
No, he has no.
So, yeah,
He'll
it's
sing
not that.
Purple
It's
Haze
just-
for money, but he really shouldn't. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to figure
He's an
out if they were.
institution down there. I mean,
Okay,
he's been there since I was a kid, and I've been there since I was a kid. So
Yeah. I haven't been down there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've known about it and avoided it since I was a kid.
What, the Oregon District?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Oregon District's fine.
that's your audience, man. Don't talk people out of coming to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you never know. It also, you never know what you'll see either. And there's last time we did it, there were people all. I mean, it was September 30th, and I mean, so by midnight, I guess it was October, but there were already people, and I assume that's why they were doing it. But there were already people in Halloween costumes.
Oh, wow.
That were like
That's dope.
And Ned Pepper's just dancing.
Well, yeah,
and
you can
Halloween
just
costumes are
assume,
encouraged
yeah.
too for the show. I've told people to dress up. I know some people are, and it might be cold too. That's the other reason. So maybe if your costume's like an Eskimo or something, you're good. I don't know.
I was telling them about your commercials when you guys do commercials during the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. What are the commercials? I was kind of curious about that. I shouldn't be curious about that.
No, I just
Oh, okay.
mentioned the place. I mentioned we're going to be mentioning Wiley's. I got a bunch of
Passes.
yeah, and
See, I
Wiley's.
should give some of those away.
What is
on the
Wiley's?
radio.
what is Wiley's Comedy Club?
Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon
I'm
district.
going to check that place
Ohio's
out.
oldest
Yeah.
comedy club.
Yeah, Ohio's oldest comedy club. And they always say, it says on the sign, Ohio's oldest and Dayton's first. Well, if it's Ohio's oldest, it would have had to been Dayton's first, because if there was one before it in Dayton, that would have been the oldest.
Yeah, I'm just
Does
going
that
to say,
make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Unless there was
makes
a Dayton
perfect
before there
sense
was an
to me.
Ohio. Because
Yeah,
that was
so it
totally
was
before the
Dayton
state
while it
was like
still
incorporated.
Ohio
So,
territory.
so there was
Yeah.
like a comedy club in like 1792. I say, y'all, close. The powdered wigs.
Well,
and
maybe
stuff.
it was a Native American.
What is it
comedy
about
club.
those
They were-
slaves?
People try not to.
Oh, there are so
Seinfeld.
many bad thoughts running through my head on that. It's like, I better not say any of this.
They're so fast when they get going.
Oh, that is wrong and funny. It's okay. We've gone wrong already on this show.
That's
earlier,
a good
so-
premise. That's a good premise. I'm going to write a bit about it, and I'm going to do it at the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just and there's people coming out of the porn store the entire time, and
Yeah,
it's
British
fun just-
meat taxes. Them British meat taxes.
Paying taxes is like,
Yep,
What
somebody
about
ought
these
to chop up their
pantaloons?
teeth.
What about these pantaloons?
so I'm wearing this wig the other day, right?
Carriage jokes, lots of carriage jokes.
Oh,
Oh, that is messed
Your
up.
horse loses a shoe. I don't know.
Thomas Jefferson headlined at Wiley's one time, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, it has been there that long.
That long?
Yeah, he was a great comic. He was one of the first.
I heard.
He was one of the first alt comics.
First what?
Alt comics. Yes.
Stupid.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right, now we have to compose ourselves.
We
See,
do.
I said we shouldn't earlier. Now we have to.
We have to.
Well,
The
Eric,
mayor's here. The mayor's
Oh, by all means. I'm glad I'm the only one
Absolutely.
keeping this show together.
Yeah, you are the glue that holds
The
this.
anarchy, right? Well, we want to do a good showing in front of the mayor.
Yep. Oh, that's
He's got his own
yeah.
parking space outside.
He should. Yeah. Yeah.
Come early if you do come to the show, because parking will be it is kind of tight. They turned one of the lots over by J Seafood. It's a pay lot now, so everybody's parking.
Oh, wow.
To avoid a pay lot, they're parking on the
Right.
street. So street parking has gotten really kind of. That's just advice to anybody who might be listening, and you guys too.
Parking's
But
always been kind of.
it's
odd
well,
there.
there's real close spaces. I mean, nobody wants to walk. I mean, it's. Yeah, that was weird. I thought it was like.
Yeah. It's like there's another radio station going on right outside of the radio station.
But
Quiet
yeah.
out there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that. Yeah, that's just good advice. It's just if you don't mind walking, there's still spaces. It's just people. Everybody wants to be real close, and we're kind
Right.
of spoiled down there. Other cities, you have to block for blocks, to get a space. Sometimes
Is that Daughtry? Are they playing Daughtry?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's just Daughtry.
Yeah. Maybe we'll open the door and see what they're doing.
Don't.
And tell them to shut the hell up.
Why do I know what Daughtry is?
I don't.
Daughtry, is that the
What's the group?
American
okay.
Idol guy. but then
okay?
he has
That's
a band
what I
named
thought.
after himself.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's an ego.
We are
Name
all
his whole
Daughtry.
band after. Yeah, we are Daughtry.
All y'all Daughtry.
Daughtry. Yeah,
That's how he told him.
All y'all
He
Daughtry.
just walked in and told his band that one day. Like,
yeah, we're Daughtry now.
like, do we have a meeting about this?
Yeah.
Like, which
You're
one of us was a
Daughtry.
runner-up on American Idol?
You're Daughtry.
I am this man. Literally, he's like some egomaniac.
Yes, that's what happens when you're on American Idol.
Yeah.
Just idol. It's all there. Worship me. I'm American
Yeah.
Idol now.
The American way.
Yeah, there. Yep. We are Daughtry.
I quit the band for personal reasons. Chris changed the name of the band to his own name and told us we all had to worship him.
Yep.
And I had an issue.
Yep. He wanted us all to change our last names to Daughtry.
Yeah,
It's like we were married,
yeah, he said for
which
tax
I was
purposes.
fine with, but the sex was kind of rough. Daughtry.
I don't want to share him with 4 other guys.
Yeah.
Not that kind of guy.
Yep. That's him and his brother wives in the band. That's-
Otherwise,
Not that kind of guy.
oh.
that's a TV pitch,
and
right?
that's-
Somebody'd watch a show called Brother Wives.
I'm sure. That,
Somebody would.
yep. That's well, Big
West
Brother
Virginia.
wives. That would
Big
be
West
it.
Brother
Virginia.
Wives.
Yeah.
West Virginia would love that show.
What's that?
Brother Wise.
Who would love it?
West Virginia.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, well, they probably have brother fathers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, that's another
Yeah.
show. There's a whole channel.
Sister moms.
Sister.
We should start having a writing group right now.
Teen sister
Right.
moms.
That is just wrong.
We
Making
apologize
fun
to the
of,
state of West Virginia.
Well, no, that's
Because
not
these
what was
views
wrong.
don't reflect on any of us, right?
Exactly, exactly. The views expressed do not reflect
go.
the views of any of us.
Uh,
I just basically say things that I heard on fake news, and that's all.
there's no fake news in here.
That's right. There's no fake news in here. This is all absolutely 100% grade A meat, and it's important.
Live radio
Yes,
meat.
yeah, live.
Don't ever look at me with that look in your face and say meat like that. The table moved.
You didn't know what you were walking into when you came into this studio. But that's all we are is meat.
I should have warned you.
Radio meat.
I knew what I was getting into.
Meat.
Yeah, Aaron knew. He's been meat before. On air meat.
Oh,
Oh, wow. I think that's a website, isn't it?
What's that called? Rule 34? Yeah, probably.
someone's gonna write a letter right now about that comment.
Oh, yeah. They're already right.
The sexy studs of radio calendar.
That was
Mayor
my plan.
meat.
You ruined
Mr.
it. That was gonna be
October.
my surprise for you was the radio meat. The calendar.
Leaning all over a car like a White Snake video. Like this. I don't know.
Sitting on top of the switchboard.
Yeah.
So we got to get his story. We got to get his comedy story on why he started comedy. You got mine.
Do we?
You got mine.
Okay, Aaron.
It's only fair.
Yeah, it is fair. We should get your why.
What?
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Okay, never mind.
I ask myself this every day.
Yeah, why did I do this? Why did you do this, Aaron?
Well, it's for the adventure and the money and
Yeah.
and the women
Yep.
and the
And the radio
and the
meat.
respect
Well,
and the
that's-
radio
Respect.
time.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the only way I could get radio time.
Well, comedy brings respect to your mayorship.
yes,
True.
yes, and make them kiss the
Yeah.
ring. I don't have any rings.
Yeah. Well, that's the.
People
that's
think
how
I
you
walk
get-
around down there in that white suit, like over my shoulders, like a don. Like
Yep. Collecting everybody's protection money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I knew there was a reason that you were the mayor. It was that
Gotta
protection
get your
racket
cup off-
you got
off the
going
top.
on at Feathers.
I want to wet my beak.
Palms got to be greased.
Yeah, it's a nice store you got here. Be ashamed if something happened to it. What really happened to your neighbor's store? What really? Why did they really get evicted?
They were
They crossed you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. No,
They complained about your comedy show out on the street one time too many.
Well, they had a huge party in their store, and among other things I was told was that they got evicted because it really got out of hand and like upset everybody, and they were late on their rent. But other stuff was going on that I
Cocaine.
can't
Okay.
discuss.
Yeah,
Cocaine.
they didn't pay you. They
I'll let
didn't
Ed-
pay up. They didn't pay the
Yeah.
protection
No, but-
money.
We weren't stupid. We knew it was something was going on there. People were coming in and out the back door all the time. And,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's backdoor store. That's,
yeah,
I think that was further down the street. Though,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's a different place, and they have all your needs.
That's the one with all those X's in the window and the neon. Yeah.
The mannequins with the pumpkin-sized.
Yeah. Oh wait, I thought that was your store.
No,
I'm just kidding.
none of our mannequins have.
Yes, none of your men
Meat.
have meat. Oh man, this is it's more than I bargained for on the show today.
Good time. Good time.
Yeah. So, who were some of your comic influences that really got you going? Other than John Morris.
yeah, that's it. That's
He's
it.
gonna murder all of us.
Done. I said, this is what I want to do. I want to be like John Morris.
I just had to throw that out there. We love you, John.
Yeah.
Murdering
Well,
all of us.
it's not get out of hand there.
Well,
I really like
You're all right, John.
one of the first shows I ever saw. Emo Phillips. Emo Phillips was an
yeah.
influence because he came into the shop and bought like jazz. He bought jazz records from us. He would come every year for a long time, and he would come in, and we knew him. And he at one point he had me come around with him and hang up posters for the show. And
Cool.
I remember telling him, like, I went back. He gave us free passes, so I went and watched. And that's also the first time I saw. And this is a good segue. Ryan Singer. He opened for
yeah.
Emo, and he's going to be at Wiley's on
tomorrow night, yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, that's going to be a great show. Check that out. Ryan Singer and his friend at Wiley's
Lucas,
Comedy Joint.
something Lucas.
Austin
Aaron
Lucas?
Austin Lucas.
Austin
there you
Lucas, Ryan Singer. And I remember getting up the courage and going, this is back, the green room was where the ice machine is at that office. And I went back there and I'm like, oh, Mr. Phillips. And the joke was, I'm Phillips, but he's a Phillips with one L, so we're not related.
Right.
Mr. Phillips, that was cool. I'd like to try that sometime. And I didn't try it I didn't even attempt to do comedy for 4 years after that. And ever since then, he hasn't been back to Dayton for a while. And when he was, I was out of town. But I'd really love to show him this. It's all his fault. It's not completely him. And I like his stuff. I like his writing.
When he came into your store to buy jazz records, was he the same personality?
It is not far away.
Jazz.
It really, he plays it up a little bit, but he's odd in conversation. I mean, I think he was messing with me too, because we would be walking from store to store and I'd be talking to him. He's like, hey, I can't hear out of this here. And I go over here. He's like, oh, you have to speak up. I think he was just to have somebody to make fun of.
Probably was.
But Opie, Rob's son that used to work there, he would tell me when the emo came to town, he would just wander off.
That's okay. Radio silence. We like that.
He would just wander off, and he would wander off over on across the river. He'd be over on West 3rd Street, not know where he is, and he'd be playing a little wooden flute. Like he would take out
emo.
Emo would be playing this flute, walking around West 3rd Street. And finally, I don't know how he'd call. Opie would get a call, and it would be this was maybe one time. But it was 25 minutes before the show, and he had to go drive over there and pick him up. And he was like, Opie's first thought was that he'd just wander off and get,
playing his fife.
Yeah, you never see him again. But he was always an influence. Emo was I even said I told him. I said, you should call your fans emo-philiacs. And he's like, yeah, we had T-shirts of that in the 80s. And I had no idea.
Wow,
but he's like, but great minds, cross parallel thinking. But I thought it was funny. And Steve Martin, of course. I really like Steve Martin. Dope. My parents gave me cassettes of his when I was a kid. And Robin Williams. They don't remember even doing it. But I've played them till they broke. And just fun stuff. Like Steve Martin, I like how he just deconstructed all of comedy, we'd make jokes about comedy itself,
meta humor.
Yeah. I really, and his book Born Standing Up, I haven't read many comedy books or guides or anything, but that book really recommend. It was just a really cool story. He started at Disneyland working in the magic shop doing magic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there he is.
Yeah. And now here you are.
Yeah.
We've come full circle.
I had a friend who texted me, so I gave him my phone.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
Her text goes, "That's so weird. The Oregon district has a mayor."
Yeah,
Melissa,
started calling myself that once just because I wanted someone to say you can't be, because I am. I just wanted somebody to challenge me on it. I thought it would be funny.
Nobody did.
Nobody did, and I was like, okay, I'll go. There's probably better candidates. Definitely, I'll say that.
So you're the
if there was such
uncontested
a
mayor.
thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, self-proclaimed. This isn't like a title. It's like there's the mayor of Hollywood. That's not the actual. I don't know. That's like a ceremonial title, I think.
Yeah, but we've all accepted it.
Yeah.
So it's official now.
Yeah.
And now
if anybody wants to come for me and fight me for the title,
bring it on.
Bring it on, all challengers.
Yep. This Sunday. Nope, Saturday.
Someone's going to come up and attack me with a chair in the middle of the show. Yeah. Please don't. If anybody was thinking of that wouldn't be cool.
Probably wouldn't be, unless it's one of those easily broken.
Breakaway chair, like a stunt chair.
Stunt chair. That'll work. Because it really would make great entertainment.
Yeah. Someone bring a stunt chair.
Yes.
Bring regular chairs too. You'll probably need somewhere to sit.
Yeah. Because, but not in the street.
No, don't sit in the street.
I wouldn't recommend it. Mainly because those bricks are a little uneven.
Yeah,
they fall over.
And there's cars going by. That's also a challenge. There'll be motorcycles going by, revving stuff you never have to worry about in a club. Like usually it's like a drunk bachelorette party or something, but this is. You'll have a guy just revving his bike.
Drunk bachelorettes on motorcycles.
No, I mean that's a common like comedy club.
Oh yeah,
people complain about like, oh man, they were loud or something. But well, you'll have them down there too. They'll be down there as well, but it passes. If it's good,
usually they just stagger on.
If they're good, if it's a good audience, they don't stick around that long either. But if it's bad, they also don't stick around that long either. Right. It kind of changes the entire time. And there's people that stop what they're doing and had no idea the show was going on and are excited, and that's awesome.
That's cool.
That's really. There's
cool.
people that like change their plans. And, well, let's watch this for a minute. You know?
Yeah. That's always good. Do you ever put a guitar case out there and try to like busking comedians?
Well, the last time I was able to actually give the out of town comics some money, that was nice.
Oh,
you know,
cool.
usually before it was like, I'm paying you an experience, maybe pizza. Like, but I was able to give them like $10 for gas, you know, or a couple bucks.
Good.
You know,
That's
that's better than nothing. And that's, you know, I still, this is where I feel like I'm at for comedy is I will never not be surprised when I get paid. If I do get paid, it's always a surprise. Like,
Wow,
oh, cool.
I wasn't
Yeah, wow.
expecting this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm never expecting it, but
Yeah.
it would be nice.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise
Yeah.
every now and then. So you don't, and they always lower your expectations. You'll never be disappointed.
And the first time I did a show and they paid us, the guy did the thing where he folded the money up in a little square and put it in his hand and shook my hand. And I didn't know that's what was going on. I was like, "What do I have to go get you drugs now?
Yeah,
What's
you gave
this?"
him
Like,
you gave him a joint.
yeah,
walked away.
I was like, "What am I doing?"
Meat.
Meat. All right. Speaking of meat, we're going to play a little music. I don't know why that's meat reminded me of that, but we better take a break and deal with
I don't
our.
know.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. Here's a little more Potter's Field, just because I like to watch Ed headbanging over there, and we will be back here shortly. Here's this weekend's comedy rundown brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Friday through Sunday, October 13th through the 15th, Steve Trevino's at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Friday and Saturday, October 13th and 14th, Greg Hahn is at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District, along with Rich Regains and our very own Karen Jaffe is going to be emceeing that show. Saturday, October 14th, Feathers Spooky Spooktacular Jokey Jokes at Feathers Vintage Clothing Store at 440 East 5th Street in the Dayton's Oregon District. That show starts at 9:30 p.m. And Sunday, October 15th, Wiley Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. Also, be sure to check out the Unwritten Podcast from Dayton Writers Movement, available at unwrittenpodcast.com. There's Greg Hahn yelling.
Hey, all right, Don, everybody. I'm going to be at Wiley's Friday and Saturday going nuts. This is Greg Hahn in a one-way conversation because the tech at the radio station is ridiculous, so I can't hear anything. I'm just yelling in my hotel room with a dude on the other side of the wall, furious, probably trying to take a nap. I don't know who's over there. But anyway, listen, Friday and Saturday, 2 shows. If you're in college right now, here's how you do a comedy career. You ruin 2 cars driving around learning your act in the Midwest. Then you move to New York. Then you move to L.A. What you do once you get to L.A., go to the airport, you fly to Dayton and play Wiley's. Come on, man! Friday and Saturday. I was an English major. My favorite author was Cliff Notes. Hey, all right. You know you're in trouble when you're taking the SAT test. You can't get the practice question correct. Which one of these does not belong? Car, duck. That second car looks awful suspicious. I'm doing material to myself in my room. Nice hotel room. The housekeeper just knocked on the door, asked me if she could come in and clean up. I said, yeah. She came in, took a shower, and left. She got too clever for you. Anyway, all right, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be there looking for a wife. I need a Dayton wife. I'm going to even go. Don, I can't hear you, but I might invite, I'm going to call Drew Hastings and see if he wants to do a guest set. I don't even know who's on the show. And of course, Drew's not going to show up, but I thought I'd say that. All right, everybody, Dayton, I can't wait. I'll see you. Wiley's. All right. Bye-bye.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio-video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
All right, we are back on the air. See, we got to laugh, and I forgot I was even coming back on the air. I forgot we had a show to do. This is a live radio show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in the studio with Ed and Ed John.
Yep.
Or just Ed. Just Ed.
Ed works.
And Aaron Phillips, the mayor of the Oregon District. And
Still here.
we've been talking about Wiley's. Is that 308 now?
That's like 200.
Oh, okay. I thought we were already over.
We went
200.
down.
Aaron
went
came
down.
on and
We
we
went down.
lost some.
We went down.
That's not right. Anyway, it's about 20 minutes till the end of the show, and unless anybody has any other pressing issues they have to discuss, any comedy relating, have to be out there, or should we do news?
I want to tell you about this house show we did this last weekend.
Oh, okay.
where there was- it was
the time
outdoor.
traveler.
Yeah, no, this was different. This is a different.
Oh, okay.
There's a previous one, but we won't go into that. But this was a house show. We were in a backyard, and then the thunderstorm started. And there was a guy they had a PA set up. There's this guy rapping, and we're like, dude, unplug the PA. There's lightning. The cables to the PA were in water, and they mess with it, and they blow a fuse, blow the power out at the house completely and the neighbor's house.
Awesome.
And it's downpouring rain. So a bunch of people leave, but we go inside and they light a bunch of candles, and they go into the basement, and the guy plays acoustic guitar, and then I'm up next, and I just have to shout to this candle-filled dark basement, and it was okay.
So
And then John Holmes from Cincinnati went up, and then Mike Holinsky closed the show out, and he said, "Can I just change the energy for a minute?" And there's this big coffee table. It's just like the living room. It's in the basement. Drags the coffee table out of the way and lays down on this the place was filthy basement floor, but it was fun. And just does the show on his back, flat on his back, with everybody sitting around him. It looked like we were going to sacrifice him. I mean, it was the weirdest, one of the weirdest
like
things.
A weird
Mike
comedy
would
ritual.
be down for a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Travis Charles was there. He said he's been doing it for like 12 years. He said it was the weirdest thing he'd ever seen in 12 years of stand-up, was just flat on your back in the dark in a candlelit basement. Like, it could have gone another way, but it was a fun comedy show. But you wouldn't think so.
If I was because Holinsky's kind of a small framed fella.
Yeah.
If I was his size, I would not lay down in a dark basement with candlelight with Travis Charles there.
Yeah. Just sort of, he wasn't even close. He was just sort of
as
sitting
we
off
said
in the
before the
distance.
break, meat.
Yeah. Meat. I just had to get that out. That was
Okay,
unusual.
good. Yeah,
you know why
I
you do
heard
stand up
something-
stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
why.
That was lay down comedy.
Yeah, it was not
that's-
stand up. It was
yeah.
like I stood up. But
Well done.
I might do
Well
that
done.
Saturday night at the show and just
If you
lay
want,
down
man.
in the street.
No, because that's just hack.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hack. Don't do
In
it.
the street. Yeah.
I have a
Well, that's
stage.
most of what I do is hack, so it's okay.
I have a portable stage to set up now too.
Oh,
it's
do
not.
you?
It's a riser about as long as this table maybe. It's about 2 feet up, but it's better than just being flat.
Right.
You'll be up above. Someone will fall off of it. It'll be
Oh
fine.
yeah, absolutely. Invite puke. He'll definitely fall off.
God. That's a name I don't want to hear
You
again.
weren't here for puke, were you, Ed?
No.
Okay, you didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think he's the only person I've ever seen fall off of Wiley's stage.
He fell off
He
of
tr-
Wiley's
he-
stage.
He tried to. He thought he'd be funny, which I mean, it was the funniest thing he did in any time I've
He
ever
was
seen
just
him on
incoherent.
stage. Yeah, he's an
Was he
idiot.
drinking?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a
And
hippie.
rather than go off the side steps, he decided he was going to walk on the tables
He's
in front.
stupid. He should have
and
fallen.
Went down.
yeah.
Yeah, he should have fallen. Okay.
Yep, he
I
did.
had to
He-
follow him. He was there 1 year, and he doesn't. The most coherent thing he talks about was he was just denigrating just women. Just like,
Right.
don't you
Oh,
hate
yeah.
how they're
Oh,
every
yeah.
word you've ever heard that I'm not going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just went down the list with like no context. And I remember this is back when Canistero ran the show, and he's like, "We're going to hope that this guy named Puke, maybe he's great. I've never seen him before." But just in case, we'll put you after. And I thought that was a nice compliment. And I was
I think
like,
Lindsay Coleman followed him one time too.
Oh,
she
no.
just tore him to pieces.
"Oh, good." 'Cause-
Yeah, she was a little angry.
Yeah. Well, I just said, "Professor of Women's Studies, Puke."
Yep.
Great follow up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
And
That
then he
was
fell off the
interesting.
stage, and I had to go up. I followed him after that. I was just like, I'm just going to get a shirt made. He says, "I clean up puke."
Yeah. There you go.
He put the whole show in a hole.
All right. Well, speaking of puke,
Yeah.
when getting a smooch from Moki, Wait a minute. Tissues might be needed to sop up what could be an extra slobbery kiss. The fluffy Saint Bernard was recently named the Guinness World Record holder for longest dog's tongue. Her tongue measures an impressive 6.31 inches from snout to tip. An 8-year-old rescue, Moki lives with her adopted parents, Carla and Craig Rickert, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Carla said Moki had, quote, brought a lot of joy to our lives since they adopted her about 6 years ago. She's a comic relief to us, she said. She's very funny. In a video, you can watch Moki slurp up her favorite food, peanut butter. So you know why a dog with...
Moki?
Yeah, Moki.
Moki's a freak.
Moki is a freak.
How big was that tongue?
7.31 inches. That's like the Gene Simmons of dogs right there.
I think I saw a picture of that. I just saw a picture of the tongue. That was impressive.
It was, yeah. And add peanut butter to the mix.
Add peanut butter to
There
any
is a
mix.
lot of things wrong about this news story.
Yeah,
But at least Moki's brought a lot of joy to her life.
And is going to die of canine cancer.
Why you got to go there? Now I'm sad. And craving peanut butter. I don't.
I just imagine the dog with the Gene Simmons makeup on,
Yeah.
face paint.
Yeah, and that's how the dog got cancer. All face paint.
Yeah, Kiss paint on don't paint your dog up like Kiss.
Your dog
guys.
has AIDS.
Yeah, I'd say Gene Simmons' cancer's the least of his worries.
AIDS and his face.
Yes, and his face. At least that's the
How you
only
an ugly rock and roll
asset in his
singer?
face.
How you ugly in rock and roll? How's that happen?
That was the
Oh,
70s.
that-
That was back then. It didn't have to
that's-
be. They only had makeup
There
on.
aren't a lot of pretty rock and rolls.
But Tom Petty was like a fly looking guy, right?
He wasn't my type.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, mine either, but like he had it together, right? He had
I
those
don't
teeth,
know.
but other than that,
Yeah,
he was
definitely
pretty
people-
ugly. I've never really did, like, well, I guess it depends on how you classify Kiss. Yeah, that's not heavy metal. That's rock and that's like bubble gum.
But
rock.
you couldn't see their faces.
See, I just-
They wore full face makeup for like the first 10 years of the
Right.
band.
Yeah.
And then it was a big deal when they took it off. And I wonder if
Yeah.
people were like, oh,
that's how I know he was ugly. Yeah,
yeah, put it back on.
yeah. I totally didn't know. Like that always confused me.
And he's a lot older now too, but his face is just like
No, he was
pock
ugly
marks.
young.
Well,
he was
that's
ugly
all.
young.
He was ugly young.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
was- he
they
was
pretty
ugly
much
young.
all were. Yeah, but I guess there are a lot of ugly. I mean, Neil Young.
Yeah,
he was
he's
always
got big
hideous.
teeth too. He
Yeah.
has Tom Petty teeth.
Yeah.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty teeth.
Imagine
Does
that
it sound
autopsy.
anything like Freddie Mercury teeth.
Imagine that autopsy of like Tom Petty. Like I hope he didn't die with like his mouth open. I'm guessing they can open your mouth right when you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they have
I haven't
to.
died yet. I'll let you know.
yeah.
Yep, this is definitely Tom Petty.
All right. Jewelry should always reflect one's personal style. In the case of British mom Tracy Kiss, see, we went from a dog kiss to Tracy Kiss. Now, see that
Hello?
there is some
Segues.
sense to my news. It's. We'll start over. Jewelry should always reflect one's personal style, but in the case of British mom Tracy Kiss, it also memorializes her private parts. Earlier this year, the model turned fashion blogger underwent a labiaplasty. In part to remove a cyst, the doctors said was caused by friction in the area, which we know what that was caused by.
Friction in the area.
The 28-year-old Kiss then blogged about the experience in very, very elaborate details in her own personal blog. Now she's adding another wrinkle to the story. Turns out she saved some of the parts removed during the surgery and has turned them into a one-of-a-kind choker.
Oh.
Hashtag white people problem.
Yes. Kiss decided to make the labia heirloom as a trophy for overcoming the pain the experience caused her. She says, I also have my old breast implants, too. Unfortunately, the surgical fluid they were stored in turned them gray, so I wanted a long-term option of preservation. The skin around Kiss's sex organ also turned gray from the surgical fluid. However, she perked things up by covering the leftover labia in glitter. So,
Stylish. Be
yes,
stylish.
that is.
I believe they call that vajazzling.
Yes!
That's
Yes!
a real word.
that gets an applause break.
That is why you are the mayor of the Oregon district. Right there.
That is good stuff.
That was perfect.
Yes, glitter. That's glitter. I have a whole set about glitter and its
Glitterous.
evils, and oddly enough, this was not a part of it, but it may be now because there are some things you don't want glitter on.
No.
There are also some things you don't want around your neck.
No.
At all.
Not
None.
Not a good thing.
bedazzled.
Get that
There's
thing away
such a
from
thing
me.
as over. There's such a thing as oversharing. You know,
Yes,
like
yes,
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great little necklace. Where'd you get that?
where. Who
Oh
are you wearing?
my
Who are you
God.
wearing right now?
Well, this is me. This is me.
Yeah, this is all me.
This is me. That'd be a
Yeah,
great
this-
clothing line, like too.
Oh
This
God,
is me.
yeah. What if she made
Yeah.
it? What if people started? It started a whole trend, and everybody started like
Yeah.
demanded to bake it.
It only takes like if Lady Gaga does it, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Just one person.
That's true. That's true.
One
Yeah,
person.
it only takes one.
I
one
saw that
idiot.
necklace. Had to have it. Can you make me one?
Yes.
I'm gonna,
There's
first
more.
we're going to need to remove your.
Yep. That,
People are lining up for this hot new surgery.
yeah,
Like,
Lance Armstrong has a very big pinky ring.
Lance,
that would look so bad.
rest in peace. Wait, he's dead, right? Lance Armstrong is dead, right?
Is he? I don't think so.
I thought he
No,
died.
he
Okay,
had-
never mind.
He's
He had
just
he had
nuts.
Okay, he came close. Okay,
bum.
Oh,
Not dead.
man. I always thought it was kind of unfair. He, be in all those races with only one left because it's a lot more comfortable to ride that bike with a little thin seat when you only have one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it gives
true.
him an unfair
Yeah,
advantage. Probably.
exactly,
Well, he was
exactly.
doping too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true
Yeah, but that's not important.
at all.
See, I actually think athletes should. They're getting paid a lot of money to play a sport. They should do whatever they can to be the best at it they can be.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for my tickets to watch somebody half-ass it. Get out there and do some stuff.
For mediocre entertainment,
Shoot up and go
You
nuts.
want him to be out there like throwing the bike and just screaming.
Dr. Jekyll.
Just knocking other bikers off.
That's
Come
how
on!
you win. They just give him the title because they're like afraid of him. Like, oh yeah, hey, what's up, buddy?
I believe this is yours, Lance. No, I'm not going to kiss your ring.
Lance Armstrong just won on a 10 speed.
Oh, man. Whew.
With pegs.
We're gonna give it to him. He deserves it.
Yeah. He's,
Lance.
yeah, don't kiss the ring. A young boy, and that's all. A young boy in Tucumán, Argentina. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Tucumán. That's like that's a game, isn't it?
2K.
That's Pokemon.
2K.
Yep. Anyway, the young boy suffered an unusual side effect after he swallowed a piece from a pet toy. He couldn't stop squeaking. There's a video taken in an emergency room of a children's hospital by Dr. Santiago Gomez Zuvaria.
But you can pronounce that.
It was the Tucumán screwed me up. I practiced the other one. But the video shows the unnamed 8-year-old boy opening his mouth and squeaking up a storm. The whistle was stuck between his larynx and his pharynx. Using local anesthesia, the doctor was able to remove the squeaker from the boy's throat. I think they should have left it there. That's a valuable lesson and a warning to others. And besides, every time you walk down the street, dogs just come running.
That'd be horrible. That would be horrible.
Kill me.
Somebody took a photo of this. Instead of operating, they took a photo.
There's actually a video online where you can see him sitting there squeaking.
All his parents making
Yeah.
fun of him and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
no one thought to go to the doctor.
We told you. We told you. Look at you.
They probably put it in there just to, his parents like, no, go ahead, eat it.
Keep an eye on him.
You wanted to know, taste it. That's funny.
Oh, let's see. Say another kiss story. See, usually most of my news has to do with poop.
You got a theme
Today
going
we're
on.
kissing.
You got a theme.
Yeah, this is a theme show. This is a three guys in a room, and we have a kissing theme on the news stories. There's something wrong
And meat.
because we talk. Yeah, and meat. This gives new meaning to the phrase "air kiss." A skydiving couple in southern England recently locked lips for an astonishing 32 minutes and 20 seconds while flying inside a wind tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Andy Godwin, 49 years old, smooched nonstop with girlfriend Katie Eady. Katie Eady? What a name.
Eady.
That's a cute name. She sounds cute.
Yeah.
Katie Eady.
Exactly.
Katie Eady. Sounds like she's ticklish.
How do you sound cute?
Anyway, they smooched nonstop while suspended on a 70-mile-per-hour bed of air at the iFly Indoor Skydiving Center in Milton Keynes in June. That's enough. Yeah,
Done.
that's done.
Indoor
That's
skydiving.
Indoor skydiving. Yeah,
Above a fan.
Yeah, yeah. That's basically you're there trying to be chopped to death.
Yeah.
That's how they.
Hashtag white people.
Yeah, there you go. More white people problems. That's what we deal with here. Is we get these out.
How
in the
long can
open.
we kiss?
Yeah. Let's try it. Hey, let's try it suspended over a huge fan.
They have
go.
like a list and they've crossed off everywhere else. China buffet.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Times Square.
Wiley's Comedy Club.
Yeah, Wiley's Comedy Club.
Wiley's. Check us out.
Yeah, pay attention. Stop. Get away from her. Where should we go from here?
What's happening in Dayton? Is there anything in Dayton that's going
I
on?
don't have any
I need
news
new
stories
material.
in Dayton. We all
What's
do.
going on in Dayton?
I don't.
Cal's
I don't
listening
have
to
it,
this.
yeah.
He's yelling at the radio like, "There's a car into a building! There's a car into a building!
Grab my keys! Grab my keys!
There's probably a car into a building somewhere." If I had to guess,
I'm sure there
that.
is. We should. Check Facebook. Check out Cal Westry's page. He will always keep you up to date on where cars are driving into buildings. That's.
I feel like we should talk about Cal because the audience doesn't know who Cal is. That's totally an inside thing.
Cal's been on the show. So
Okay.
some
Cool.
folks would know who Cal is. Some would not.
Longtime friend
Yeah.
of Wiley's Comedy and just comedy in
Oh, yeah,
general.
absolutely. He's one of our biggest supporters. Great guy.
Great guy. I found my key, the first key he ever gave me.
Did you?
Yeah, in 2015 he gave me a key, and I found it like a couple of weeks ago. He's giving me like 3 more, but I found the first
Really?
one. I was like,
I-
oh,
He
man.
wants it back now. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'll take that."
Yep.
Keys
Never
player?
mind, never
Them keys player?
That's why he has that whole stack when he was.
I'm just wondering, does he ever go up to somebody that had a really bad set and demand it back? Wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't that just make you feel so
I'm
bad?
gonna need my
Like,
key
Yes, he
back.
has, Aaron. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for reminding me.
Yeah, that last 3
Listen
minutes
to-
you did,
Listen to
yeah.
Ed brag
Yeah,
about his
we're
keys.
gonna-
Some of us don't even get a key.
I got keys on top of keys,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, we're going to make a necklace. Of all these kids. Let's have them all hanging out.
This
Gonna
is
go
me.
stage
Tangled
like
in
that one day.
Oh, that's coming. I can hear the keys.
Keys, baby, keys.
Yes, the key to comedy we given by Cal Westray.
Yeah.
We need.
Good thing.
Yeah, I think a key necklace would be.
A big giant one, like he's getting the key to the city.
Yes. What you
That's
should
how I
have.
would
You
hand
should
it out.
have.
It's there, yeah. It would be chocolate. It would be
Get
big
the
foil.
key to the Oregon district.
Look, when you leave the Oregon district, I need this back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like a
we won't be
border,
able
and
to get back
my power only works. Oh, you're on the other side of the border now.
in.
My jurisdiction. I'm out of jurisdiction.
Need
My
that
hands
key
are
back,
tied. I
player.
can't do anything.
You're not planning on building a wall, right?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because that would keep people out of the Oregon
Yeah.
district. They wouldn't be able to get the
No, it
Wileys.
wouldn't. No, it
No,
wouldn't.
They'd climb it.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd climb
They'd
it.
start
Yeah.
selling
They'd climb it.
ladders.
They'd go over
The
there
porn
for
stores
work.
down there. And
Yeah,
the
that's
paddle
true.
wagons. They got the
That's
paddle
true.
wagons.
Yeah, the paddle wagons at
Yeah.
the porn stores. That's why. That's why
Paddles and porn.
Because
Pedals and
the
porn.
paddle wagon cracks me up because that's really what I want when I'm trying to get drunk is exercise.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like,
It's
yeah, let's-
packed. It's a
It is.
huge.
It's
they do
somebody-
5 runs of it a day, or they book 5. I don't want to say shows, but like
So you
yeah.
can't just you have to actually make plans ahead of time.
yeah,
and
Yeah,
book
they gotta
the
reserve
spot.
rent it
You
for like
can't
events.
just-
It's like a rental. And that's why it's like big groups do it. Like,
Okay, yeah.
but
'Cause
it'll be
that-
quiet down there during the day sometimes, and then you'll just hear woo, and they'll roll by screaming, and then you're like, oh, it was the wagon.
Doppler effect.
First couple times, I had no idea what the hell was going on. I mean, I'm used to people screaming down there for fun. This is a fun scream. It wasn't like, help. I mean, I would have come out
Yeah,
for that
that's-
too. I'm not used
yeah.
to that. That would be unusual. Don't think like people are just screaming for help all the time down there. But
no,
They
that's
are.
But it's,
that's the other side of Dayton.
Hey. I frequent that side of Dayton. No,
I meant
don't.
the north side.
No,
I
I don't.
actually was reading in the newspaper earlier today
I
about the North Main and
I don't.
all the you don't read the newspaper?
No, I don't stay on that. I don't hang out on that
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah, I don't blame you. See, now I went and brought the show down because we went back to heroin again.
We did. We did.
Well, that is it. I don't think we have any more time. We got like a minute left to wrap up, and we should probably plug what's that? Wiley's.
Wiley's 101
Wiley's
Pine
comedy
Street.
joint.
Yeah, get out to Wiley's Thursday night. The Crooner and the Clown with Austin Lucas and Ryan Singer.
Singer.
That's
Very
going to be at
good.
8:00
One of the
Thursday
best.
night at Wiley's Comedy Club, 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's Historic
Wiley's.
District. Had to take a breath. And this weekend, Greg Hahn is going to
Greg
be at
Hahn.
Wiley's
Nice.
along with Rich Regains featuring, and our very own Karen Jaffe is going to be emceeing this weekend.
Sunday
get
Comics
out.
on Sunday.
And Sunday Comics on Sunday. Always a great show with the locals.
$5.
$5, and you never know what you're going to see on Wiley Sunday Comics. That's why
You
it's
can see
always
Puke,
my
you
favorite.
can
You can
see-
see Puke, you can see Action Jackson,
Yes,
maybe.
Action
You can
Jackson.
see. You never know who's going to show up, and you never know who's going to blow up.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
sometimes there.
You can say you saw him when.
Yeah, we saw him melt down on stage long before he went to prison.
We saw it coming.
Speaking of which, our thoughts are often with Andy Bowman.
Hope you're listening to this. Hope you got radio privileges, Andy.
yes.
We
and,
say hi. How's it going?
And I
Take care, buddy.
I actually miss Andy because Andy's nuts, but
He's a good
he's
guy.
always been a good dude
He's
to
a good
me.
guy.
There are some people that would argue,
Andy's a good guy.
but
He's going to
I've
come back
always-
out ripped, and we're all going to be afraid of him. And you're
Yeah,
hedging
there
your
you go,
bets.
there
That's what
you
you're
go.
doing.
That's
He's gonna come
what
back.
I'm doing.
He's going to have
No,
a Mike Tyson face tattoo and like giant
Andy's
forearms.
Andy's been on the show with me about 2 or 3 times. He's always
Cool.
always respectful, always a good guest on the show. I really wish him well, and I hope he gets
Yeah.
whatever help he needs,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
wherever he is, and comes back out.
Yeah.
Into the comedy world.
Maybe he'll get some material
And,
from in there.
yeah, it's funny. But on that note, yeah, that's it. Anything else to plug? I know Saturday.
Saturday at
Feathers Vintage Clothing for what's the full title of it? Feathers Comedy Spooky
Spectacular.
Spectacular Jokey
yeah,
Jokes.
yeah, we're calling it that
So-
because it's close enough to Halloween.
Yeah.
Come in a costume.
Yeah, come in a costume
And just
and laugh.
You won't be the only one. There'll be other people in costumes. Don't worry.
That's good. As long as there are other people, we don't.
And it'll be
feel-
drink. People will be drunk, and it'll be a good audience. And just come check it out. 9 o'clock, 9:30,
Yeah.
440 East Fifth Street, right down the street from Wiley's. You
Yeah.
can go to the early show and still come to ours too.
There you go. Yeah, go to Wiley's early show to see Greg Hahn, and then go see the rest of us hanging out at
Yelling at people on the street.
yelling at people on the street, making them all wish they had gone to Wiley's for the late show.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll make it. The grass is always greener.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Life Radio Show with your host, Don Smith. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's Podcast Network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
I'm doing material to myself in my room.